What's up, everybody? Welcome to Tones in the Den. Today, I'll be demoing and giving my thoughts on the electro-harmonix Big Muff Pi. I'll be doing this demo with my Gibson Les Paul as well as my Fender Strat, and I'll be doing that through my Marshall DSL-40. If you want to use the timestamps below, feel free. Let's plug it in. Alright, starting with the Les Paul. You'll see the Big Muff, come up on this side, I guess. And as you can see, first thing, compared to my hand, it is massive. If you have never seen one in person before, they are pretty big and not the most pedal board friendly, but if you're only using a couple other pedals, it should fit on a small board. So I have it set right now. The sustain is basically at 0. I have the volume up because I do have to keep my amp a little bit quiet with the shared wall. And let's start with the tone rate about noon. Oh, I guess I should. I could go a bit louder than that. That's just my amp. Now with no sustain. Let's hear what the tone does without any sustain. Back it off a bit. Okay, now let's crank the tone a little bit. Up the volume a little bit on it. Gives me a little bit of that old school vibe. But let's do what we all came here for. Let's start adding a little bit of sustain. I'll keep the tone rate about there. I think that's where I found that I like it personally. And we'll start right about there. Yeah, I dig it. Honestly, I tried a Big Muff when I was young and didn't know what I was doing, and I just did not like it. And I've gone my whole life thinking I did not like muffs, but it sounds pretty awesome. Let's up that a bit more. And I'm wearing my Misfits shirt, so I gotta. Sorry, that one's one of my favorites. But let's hear the neck with this. All right. Let's hear what the tone does here now that we've added some sustain. Okay. Yeah, but I do find I like it really close to noon. And now let's add even more sustain. If you thought that I was done with the Misfits, you're mistaken. teenagers from Mars there. I love how the notes just ring out forever. The Big Muff is a sustain machine. Let's up that. We're gonna crank it. Maybe move that tone a bit, add a bit more volume. And why not? One more Misfits. Hybrid Moments. That Static Age album, I'm pretty sure it's all done with the Big Muff, so I had to do a couple. Crazy the sustain you get from it. So I think that gives you a good idea. Let's turn the sustain down a little bit more there. Last thing with the Les Paul, up the volume, adjust the tone a bit. Need a bit more than where I'm at here. Yeah, I know some people like using it as a boost, but that's not really my thing. But let's plug in the Strat and see how it sounds. Let's hear the amp tone with my Strat, just on the bridge pickup. Okay, so we'll start, got the volume at noon, tone at about noon, and low sustain. I'll likely be upping the volume though. It's quiet. It's quieter than what the amp was. So let's go right up a bit. Let's hear the neck. It adds an interesting flavor, that's for sure. Let's up that tone a bit, and let's give it a bit more sustain. Okay, not bad. I could see me using this as more of a boost with the single coils for sure. Let's drop that tone a bit. Sorry, I think that's kind of maybe how David Gilmour used a muff. I know he did, and I can see that, like... It just adds so, like, a fullness to it, so that's very interesting. That's the first time I've gotten that sound. But let's go back to the bridge. Let's keep the tone down for a little bit, add a bit more sustain. Yeah, that's pretty interesting with the tone down. I like that. Just backing the volume off a little bit because we're getting a little bit loud. Turn up the tone, up that sustain a bit more. Let's hear it on the neck middle. Okay, yeah, not bad. Let's go even more sustain there. Bring the tone, let's up it a little bit just to see what happens here. Kind of sounds like an old distortion when you do that. Yeah, that's interesting. So there you go. Boost, fuzz, and distortion all in one. Now let's just up the sustain and see what it sounds like. Now with full sustain, a bit of volume, let's see how much sustain there is when I'm using the Strat, because obviously the Les Paul will hold a note longer. Not bad. Yeah, it definitely adds a little bit of length to it, but it's not like the Les Paul where it will ring out forever. So that's it for the demo. Let me give you my thoughts and we'll wrap up. So, the Big Muff Pi. Would I recommend this pedal? Absolutely. Honestly, even just playing it again there, like, it's a boost, an overdrive, a fuzz, a distortion, all in one, and it is pretty cheap. I think it's like $100 US, $140 Canadian, but you can find them used even very cheap. So I think it's an awesome pedal. I think the only gripe some people might have with it is its size, but get yourself a Big Muff Nano, something a little bit more pedal board friendly. I haven't compared them myself, but I'd be interested to see if I could hear a little bit of a difference. But yeah, I would highly recommend the Big Muff Pi. It is an awesome pedal, and I have a ton of fun playing it. I guess the only other thing about it, like I'm personally a fuzz face guy, I find it doesn't interact as well with using your guitar's volume knob. And that is why it's not a permanent thing on my board, at least not yet, because I love the versatility of the fuzz face circuit for that reason. But let me know, what Big Muff do you recommend? Because now I'm super interested in trying another one. I kind of want to try the Op Amp, maybe the Green Russian. I'm open to recommendations, so let me know what you think. I'd love to hear from you. But that is it for me here at Tones in the Den. Thanks for watching the demo on the Big Muff Pi. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Take care. Peace.